All right, board gaming enthusiasts, as of this vlog, we are 7, 8, somewhere around there, days out to the close of the Hero Quest, the reprint, the re-imaging, the updating of Hero Quest by Haspulse. And I wanted to push out there, you may be on the fence. You're thinking about it. There's the possibility you're thinking about jumping in, but maybe you need some persuasion, maybe you need a little push, maybe you need that justification to purchase it. And I want to share with you why I'm backing this. Now, I have to say right away, promoting this campaign, I'm doing it for the sake of the love of the game and the love of the community, the love of you, to kind of push that forward, pay that forward. I've gotten a lot of great board gaming recommendations, and it's expanded my gaming group and my memories. So in no way is this to push out the pulse, because how Hasbro has handled this campaign, I mean, it can always be worse, but it just seems kind of a complete lack of support, just pushing stuff out there, and really a shame for an amazing title. And the challenge here, of course, is unlike traditional or other Kickstarters, there's no real interviews, there's no in-depth gameplay, there's no, like, why is this a great game? There's just little bits and pieces here and there. It's like they're relying totally on I don't know what to fund it. So realizing that, just openly sharing and answering the question, as I do with all of my board gaming reviews, what place will this title have on the table? What memories can we create? What social can we create? Or, I mean, will it be something that we play regularly? Or will it be something that sits on our gaming shelf and taunts us and does not hit the table? So that's what I want to kind of share and help push forward. So the main thing with Hero Quest for me is the elegance of simplicity. Now, a lot of us are really coming from two camps, and I'm somewhere kind of in the middle, being a dungeon crawler enthusiast. There's a lot of backers that say, back in the day, Hero Quest was the bomb for me, right? Hero Quest was where it's at. So they have fond memories. They might have an old copy. They might have lost that old copy. They're looking to build on and recapture that moment. And that's, you know, that's awesome. And then there are new players looking and saying, well, do we need another dungeon crawler? I mean, the game is so simple. Dungeon crawlers have evolved. I mean, not that Hero Quest is roll and move and attack, but it kind of is from that perspective. And this makes sense. This was the first. This was the DNA. I mean, Magic Realm, I don't consider a dungeon crawler, but Hero Quest was the first. Every system is built out. I mean, the DNA of Hero Quest is somewhere in there for Gloomhaven. And these other titles, you know, heavy Gloomhaven weight or lighter titles that Descent you might explore, Hero Quest has influenced them. So looking at it from the perspective of why do I want to go backwards to something that doesn't have advanced mechanics, doesn't have all the bells and whistles and condition and effects that modern dungeon crawlers have, that's a fair question too. Now, I'm somewhat in the middle. I mean, I grew up with Hero Quest. I played a lot of Hero Quest. I recognize it from that early, well, not early, late, mid-90-ish dungeon crawling perspective, but I also recognize it from the perspective of ranking with Gloomhaven and other current titles. So the reason why I'm backing this is because it's a very much a beer and pretzels dice chucker dungeon crawler with tremendous opportunity for evolution. The rules are simplistic, but simplistic doesn't mean like baby cakes, or simplistic doesn't mean old. It means elegant. I mean, the rules are very streamlined. You're going to roll, you open a room, monsters spawn and populate, they deploy out. There might be some treasure you can search. There might be some traps. I mean, just a very, very quick, light, fun dungeon crawler. And for me, the strength of it is, and this is going against the older version of Hero Quest, which the reprint is with an update on models, and we're going to explore that in a moment. But it might not excel at any one area, say compared to like Gloomhaven, which excels in tactical play, flipping cards, combos, all that type of stuff. But it has just enough exploration. It has just enough dungeon crawling. It has just enough fighting monsters, rolling dice, just enough special powers, just enough treasure. It hits up everything with just enough that when it comes together, it's just fun to play. It's just light. It's fun. It's watching a narrative. It's entertaining. Once you learn the rules, there's no things you got to look up and what's this condition and what's going on and did the quest end and did I loot this on this turn? It just works. So I see this in my collection as a light dungeon crawler when I want to get that dungeon crawling in. I want to get that RPG fantasy type thing in, but I don't want to spend an hour setting up Gloomhaven and then play for hours and hours and kind of crunch those numbers. And I love Gloomy. I'm using Gloomhaven as an example because that's really right now the pinnacle, the apex, the zenith of dungeon crawling type adventures. So in exploring that, it's just light and it works. Now, being a streamlined system, buying into this, I was going to say Kickstarter, this Pulse Starter or whatever it's going to be, the potential is amazing because this is an update of the miniatures and the components, but the core is the same. So you literally have, in addition to the quests that we're going to be getting, 25 years of development, of fan content, tested in battle, tested on the tables. So the replayability, forget replayability in that, yeah, you can play the same quests over and over again, but there are hundreds of quests out there in addition to random quests. And while it is a one versus many, and that's the fun of it, one versus many, having a GM, a game master control it and reveal, the fact that you can automate that, play that from that perspective, like there's amazing fan content out there. Imagine, again, looking at Gloomhaven, the fan popularity of Gloomhaven, it's like teleporting 25 years, strip sleeving 25 years, traveling 25 years into the future and having amazing content to play. I mean, you have that right now with it. So a fantastic place to build on 25 years. The system also scales. Pulling in other HeroQuest enthusiasts, if you want to go in this direction, you can make your own monsters. You can pull in other miniatures. I mean, it's simplified in a good way that it's easy to bolt in as its own, can I say Dungeons and Dragons, as its own RPG type system and pulling in some of these amazing quests. I mean, that is also what captures it. Now let's talk about the exploration, because in my mind, this is the strength of HeroQuest. And this is something that it has, rules aside, but because of the rules that other systems don't. Comparing Gloomhaven again, but even say looking at Descent, Gloomhaven is complex with the cards. You got a lot of conditions, a lot of rules, a lot of special what ifs. You got a matrix of encounters. If you had a true exploration dungeon, well, one, how would you reveal that? I mean, it could be random, but how would you reveal that with the quests? And two, the time it would take to set that up. This is what you see with a lot of modern dungeon crawlers. They're so rules heavy, and I could argue, well, they're so rules heavy, I might as well play Dungeons and Dragons. You know, a board game, I want everything all in one, and I want to sit back for the ride and the narrative and make some heroic decisions and see how it plays out. So Gloomhaven needs to have everything revealed ahead of time. You go into the dungeon, there's no hidden information. And that's not good or bad, but there can't be hidden information because of all the conditions and the complexity. HeroQuest being simplified in a good way, you have the outline of the board. You don't know where the dungeon's going. You are true exploration, and not only the exploration of like, where's a door, what's in there, what furniture, what corridor. If I go around the left and there's two doors, where does it end? I mean, true exploration, old school dungeon exploration. You also have the advantage of, well, when you open the door, mini narrative. Is there a monster in there? Is there a trap? Can I randomly search? Maybe there's treasure. Maybe there's not treasure. Maybe it's a random spawned monster. This narrative of just pull it out, have some fun, play, that just works. And for me to buy in, and again, I have the original, and I have a few of the smaller expansions, but having updated miniatures, having a new set reimaged, having some of these quests, having at the higher tier, you know, the 2X packs building in, that's huge. That is huge to play and expand upon. I'm going to relate it to one last game. Now I'm just going to turn it over to you guys in the comments, backing yes, backing no. If you're still on the fence, do you think you'll be in? Do you not? Do you need Fritz to give you permission to justify it? You know, I'll give you that totally. I'll do that for any board game if you need that for your significant other. looking at this idea, one of the reasons why I play Zombicide Black Plague. I love Zombicide Black Plague. You spawn some zombies, you roll some dice, it just works. It's a light enough narrative that when I bring this game to the gaming club, I'll bring some titles. What do I feel like playing? I'll bring some titles. I don't know who's going to sit down and play. I don't know the types of players, their experience. Have they been in the hobby for a while? Are they brand new? But my number one rule is everyone has a place at my table. I want you to play. If the game says 6 players and we got 6 players and you step down to play, I'll step out. I'll run it. You play. We'll homebrew it. I mean, we've played Zombicide. We played Pathfinder Adventure card game, 8, 9 players. I've run Talisman games, 15, 20 players. So Zombicide Black Plague works because it's simplistic enough to throw dice and have some fun. Everyone understands the zombie theme. You can sit down and play it. The rules are streamlined enough. The dungeon is fantasy-based enough. Everything works with HeroQuest that it's understandable by everybody. You get it. You're some heroes. You're going into the dungeon. You're going to run a mission. You're going to get some loot. You're going to fight some monsters. There's a boss somewhere in that matrix, in that labyrinth. We're going to fight it. I mean, we're just going to have some fun. There's no massive, massive complexity. And I find that is why I'm backing it. I want that streamlined. I want that chance to homebrew out. I want that ability to, regardless of the audience, pull it out, set it up, roll some dice, play, expand. And truly, it is a HeroQuest type game system. That, for me, and that's what I would push. That's my finishing argument why, if you're on the fence, to jump into this and to push in that direction.